All right, let's talk about something that is absolutely blowing up in the software world. It's this new trend called vibe coding, and the promise is huge. Build anything you want just by describing it in plain English, and an AI will do the rest. The question is this the amazing future we've all been waiting for, or a really dangerous trap? This quote, wow, it really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? The dream is to completely skip the whole writing code part of writing code. You just describe the vibe and poof, an application appears. It sounds almost magical, but as we're about to see, the reality is a whole lot messier. Okay, so let's just define our terms. Vibe coding is basically where you play the role of the director. You have the vision, the vibe, and you hand it off to an AI agent whose job is to do all the grunt work of turning that idea into actual working code. It's all about going from idea to reality with as little friction as possible. And this is where things get heated. This is the core debate. On one side, you have people hailing this as a revolution that's going to let anyone build software. On the other side, you have people warning that it's a career-ending trap, especially for new developers, creating a whole generation that can't actually understand the code they're shipping. So what's the real story? Okay, let's dive into the good stuff first. To really get why this is such a big deal, you have to understand the appeal. Why is everyone so incredibly excited about this? What's the big promise? At its heart, it's all about one thing: speed. The whole philosophy is code first, refine later. Get something out there, get it into people's hands, see if they even like it, and then worry about making it perfect. It's a mindset that fits perfectly with how modern startups and tech companies want to work. And you can totally see why this is so tempting, right? I mean, who wouldn't want to build things with just plain English? You could test out a new idea in a day instead of a month. All the boring, repetitive coding tasks, gone. It promises to tear down the walls and let anyone with a cool idea actually build it. And look, this isn't some fantasy about the future. This is happening right now. A full quarter of the startups in the latest batch of Y Combinator, we're talking one of the most elite startup accelerators on the planet, are building their stuff almost completely with AI. The train has already left the station. But every big promise has a dark side, doesn't it? For every shortcut, there's a price to pay. And when we look at the data on the other side of this argument, well, it's kind of startling. So, check this out. A big study in 2025 from a group called Metra had a bunch of experienced developers use AI tools for their work. And when they asked them how it was going, the developers felt amazing. They felt like they were on fire, working about 20% faster than usual. But here's the crazy plot twist. The researchers weren't just asking them how they felt. They were measuring their actual output. And the hard data showed they weren't faster at all. In fact, they were 19% slower. I mean, let that sink in. That's a nearly 40-point difference between how productive they thought they were and what was actually happening. It turns out all the time they saved by generating code was completely eaten up by wrestling with prompts, waiting for the AI, and then having to review and fix all the mistakes it made. And this is what happens when that illusion hits the street. There was this one developer who was so proud. He built his entire app with zero handwritten code. A few weeks later, this was his life. The system was a complete mess. Security holes, weird bugs, people getting free access. He had no idea how to fix it because he hadn't built it. He had to shut the whole thing down. And his story points to this much bigger, scarier problem, what people are calling a skills degradation crisis. If you never learn the tough stuff, like how to debug a broken system or how to design a good one in the first place, you're left helpless when the AI fails. You're missing the core skills that actually build a career. And the long-term danger here is even worse. We risk creating these massive, complex systems that literally no one on the team understands. It's like future developers will have to be archaeologists, digging through layers of machine-generated code trying to figure out how it works. It's a maintenance nightmare waiting to happen. Okay, so is it all just doom and gloom? Should we just throw these tools in the trash? Well, not so fast. One experienced developer decided to immerse himself in vibe coding for a full 30 days to see what it was really like. And what he found out is fascinating. His single biggest realization was that his job had fundamentally changed. He wasn't really a coder anymore in the traditional sense. He was a manager. His job wasn't to write lines of code. It was to write clear, precise tasks for his new AI employee. So he figured out a new system. He learned that asking the AI to build a user login system was a disaster. Instead, he broke it down into tiny little pieces. He'd write a clear ticket for each piece, hand it off to the AI, and then, and this is the most important part, he would meticulously review every single line the AI wrote. He treated it like a super fast but very naive junior developer. And the results were kind of wild, because his job was now more about thinking and directing, not just typing. He found he could be productive in all sorts of new situations. He was getting work done while sick in bed with COVID, on a cramped airplane, even while playing video games. And using this method, he built the first version of a brand new product in just a few days. However, and this is a huge however, he found its limits. When he gave the AI a truly new and difficult problem, something involving complex video processing that it had never seen before, it completely failed. It just didn't know what to do. In the end, he had to break his own rule and just write the hard part himself from scratch. So what does all this tell us? Well, it seems to come down to one simple question. How are you using this tool? Is the AI your co-pilot, helping you fly the plane? Or have you just put the whole thing on autopilot and are hoping for the best? It really feels like there are two paths. The autopilot model, where you just blindly trust what the AI gives you, is a recipe for disaster. It makes you dependent, and you end up with code you don't understand. But the co-pilot model, that's different. It enhances your skills. It requires you to be the expert, to guide it, to review it. And when you use it that way, that's where you unlock some serious efficiency. So how do you stay on the right path? You have to think of the AI as a partner. You've got to read and understand everything it generates. You have to keep your own skills sharp by still coding the old-fashioned way. And maybe the most important rule of all, if you can't explain exactly what a piece of code does and why it's there, you have no business shipping it, period. And all of this leads to a pretty profound conclusion. When it gets 10 times easier for anyone to build a product, it means there are going to be 100 times more products out there. The competition becomes insane. Just building the thing is no longer the valuable part. The real value is in building the right thing, building it well and understanding it deeply. And that leaves us with this final, massive question. In a world where AI can handle a lot of the basic coding, what are the skills that will actually matter? It's probably less about raw coding speed and more about high-level problem solving, solid architectural design, and the expert judgment to know how to use these powerful new tools effectively. The very definition of being a developer is changing right in front of us.